Welcome back, everybody. Today we're here to talk about Fear the Walking Dead Season 6, Episode 3, and talk about the trailer and do a trailer breakdown. Really excited about this for this episode because I think we may be getting a return of a special somebody. We'll discuss that later on in the video. But with that being said, general spoiler warning in case you aren't caught up with The Walking Dead. But let's get into it. So let's get into the synopsis first before we get into the trailer like we always do. The title of the episode is Alaska, and the synopsis says, Al and Dwight go rogue on a recon mission for Ginny to follow a lead thought lost. But Al must choose between what she has now and what she's chasing. Now, it's hard to tell exactly what this could be, but if I were to make a guess, I feel like it may have something to do with the CRM. Because we'll get to it throughout the trailer, but I just have a feeling it does. Because I'm sure Ginny knows about the CRM, right? Like, they're in that area. And that's what the synopsis was talking about, Al, because Al must choose between what she has now and what she's chasing. I don't know if Al still is interested in the CRM, and I mean, she probably is. She probably still wants to learn more about them, and it's still kind of crazy to think about that she's really the only one who interacted with the CRM, and we saw like a CRM soldier and everything in Fear the Walking Dead, and that was awesome. So I think maybe Ginny is sending them to get some information about the CRM because in this trailer there's a point in the trailer where they're trying to get to the roof, so maybe they're trying to get some signal, but I could totally be wrong about this. I don't know for sure, but because we saw Ginny last season, but then the group just split up and we haven't really been caught up with them ever since, so I could totally be wrong about that, but that's what I'm thinking. But let's get into this trailer. In that special somebody, I'm thinking that may be Sherry. I think Sherry might be coming back in this episode. We also have some Morgan stuff in this episode, which is pretty cool. So pretty good episode, it looks like, in terms of the trailer. And season 6 has been on a roll, the first 2 episodes. If you've seen my reviews, I've been saying a lot in the reviews that I think Fear the Walking Dead season 6 is really good so far, so hopefully it keeps it up. But this episode on paper sounds pretty interesting. So the trailer opens up with Dwight. He's outside of this building, and this is the building they're trying to get inside of, or to the roof, I think. And you can see how tall that building is. So that's what I'm kind of thinking, that maybe they want some sort of radio, or they want to go up there for radio connection. But yeah, Dwight gets up and then he heads inside of the building. Then we cut to Morgan, and Morgan is with Rachel, who is Isaac's wife. Remember Isaac from episode 1? I'm sure everyone does because he was an awesome character. He unfortunately got bitten and died, and now Morgan is here with his wife still. Now Morgan doesn't have a beard here, so I'm interested in the if he just shaved, or because it's kind of confusing timeline wise, because we saw him at the end of last episode 2, and he had a beard still. So like, it was this, I think this might be not a flashback, but in terms of the story it might be like earlier, right? Because we had him talking to Virginia on the radio and saying that Morgan Jones is dead, you're dealing with somebody else now, and he had a beard then, right? And that's when I think that's when he went on his journey or something to go deal with or to go after Virginia, and then he met up with Daniel. But here he doesn't have a beard, so what I'm thinking is that maybe after Isaac died, he stayed here for a couple days or maybe even a couple weeks or something, and then he grew a beard and then he left. So that's what I'm kind of thinking. But the thing about Rachel is that she wasn't with Morgan in any of those scenes that we saw him. When he was talking to Virginia, when he was on the horse, or when he met up with Daniel. So very interested to see what's going to happen to Rachel and her baby. I mean, they are in a relatively safe spot, so maybe Morgan helped secure this and told her to wait here or something, because maybe he didn't want her to get involved in it. Obviously that would be a bad thing because she has a baby now. But you can see that Morgan here he's looking at the baby, and then he's talking to Rachel, and he says, I feel like I've been 16 different somebodies since it ended. And obviously he's talking about how he keeps kind of changing himself, and clear mode, and now he's not Morgan and that kind of stuff. So I think that's what he's referring to when he says that. Maybe he's just, what I'm kind of thinking is that maybe he's just telling Rachel, like he's opening up to Rachel, or maybe he's telling her about like everything that's going on and it's not safe to come with me and stuff like that. I have some issues I have to deal with, something along those lines. So then we cut back to Dwight and them, and he's looking at his watch here, and we have that sign again says the end is the beginning. Now I don't know exactly what this means. We had those two people in the beginning or the end of episode 1 write it. I just finished watching Dark on Netflix, and that's something they say a lot on Dark, like the end is the beginning, the beginning is the end. So I kind of thought of that, but obviously it does not mean the same thing at all. But then I'm sure, I mean, I don't think it does. That would be quite a twist if it does. But anyways, we have Dwight and Althea here. So remember, Althea is with Dwight, and they run into two people, and this is where Althea says, we're just trying to get to the roof. So again, I think they may be trying to get to the roof for a radio signal, but they're going to be running into people, and that's why I think that maybe this episode is going to be Dwight and Sherry reuniting. We even have a shot right here of his eyes sort of like widening, like he's seeing something that's kind of shocking. So I don't know if he's seeing Sherry, but we do know Sherry is returning this season, I'm sure. I mean, I don't know. I don't think they confirmed it, but they released like an image of the two of them, a season 6 image. So in a way they did. And then we have some walkers covering the stairs up to the roof. So that's how they're kind of having some trouble getting up there. We cut to Rachel here, and she's saying, "Where did you get this?" She's talking to Morgan. And I can't really tell what it is, but she seems pretty concerned. And I think it might be just something that belonged to Isaac that maybe Morgan just has. And maybe she's becoming suspicious of Morgan, especially with Morgan telling her that, you know, all his different personalities or something. So we'll see what happens there. But Rachel, yeah, because she isn't with Morgan, and it looks like this looks to be like happening before where Morgan is now with the beard and the cowboy look. So we'll see what happens to Rachel. I'm very interested in that. You guys let me know what you think. We then cut to Dwight again. So he's having a beer, I think, with Althea. And he's saying the like screw protocol. So I think this is what the synopsis is referring to when Dwight and Althea aren't listening to Jenny's orders. So I think they want to do things their own way. And then we cut to, it looks like they're in some sort of like some piping system or something, trying to maybe climb up to the roof. Althea says, "You're not going to like this." And we see like a bunch of rats here within the pipelines. And you can see Dwight just crawling. So I think that maybe there's just too many walkers on the staircases, and you know, we saw how tall that building is, so maybe it's just easier for them to climb it. And then we go back to Morgan. We see him building that axe that he had in episode 2, and then also the end of episode 1, that cowboy, I mean, you know, his cowboy look, that axe. So this pretty much tells us this is happening before that. We go back to Dwight, and he's going inside this bathroom with Althea behind him. They just have their weapons up. Maybe they hear something in there. We then cut to Althea saying, "Are you infected?" So I think she may be talking to, well, obviously she's talking to somebody who maybe needs help, but I'm wondering if this could be Sherry. I don't know when this Sherry and Dwight reunion is going to happen. But hopefully, I think if it happens in this episode, I think it'll be pretty cool, especially since they're out scavenging. I think it makes sense for it to happen in this episode, but again, we'll see. We see some walkers here, and then we have Althea hugging, I believe that's Dwight she's hugging. I can't tell for sure because of the light. You know, they both have flashlights, so I can't tell. But definitely Althea, you can tell from the beanie. And I think she's just hugging Dwight. So maybe she is like, maybe, you know, they just went through something, or she's worried or sad or stressed out or something. And she hugs it out with Dwight. Then we have Dwight outside, and he's running. This may be the next morning, or it could be the day before, because we saw them having a beer in the daytime. So maybe they're planning it during the day, and then they go inside the building at night, or this could just be the next morning. But we then cut to this person who looks like half zombified. They don't look fully zombie, so I don't know what's happening here. But I'm pretty sure it's a zombie because we have, I think it's Althea. I can kind of tell from the beanie. Althea's kind of pushing her back, so I think this is a zombie. But the zombie just doesn't look like a full zombie. So I don't know if that makes any sense, but we'll see. This might be somebody who just turned into a zombie recently. You know, I could see that happening, because obviously that isn't like someone who's been a zombie for a long time, because they don't even look that zombified. We go back to Morgan again. He's practicing his swing with his axe. and then we cut to some mysterious character with a glove and a knife, and they just ring the bell, and that's it. So I don't know who it is. I don't know how Althea plays a role in this. If she's just gonna like, if I have a feeling because they're out scavenging, they're just gonna run into her. It's gonna be pretty simple like that. I'm not really sure if it's going to be that person that Althea was talking to on the radio, or maybe that person who looked like a half zombie was a person Althea was talking to. That's why she was asking her like, she was asking her like, are you infected? Because she doesn't know what was happening with her, and then by the time she reached her, she is a zombie. Or maybe this person with the glove and the knife is Sherry. But hopefully the Sherry reunion happens. I think it'll be pretty cool. I think it's gonna be awesome because Dwight is one of my favorite characters, and just like they haven't seen each other in so long, and I think it's gonna be pretty awesome. So you guys let me know your thoughts and opinions about that. Let me know how you think Sherry's gonna play a role in this. Do you think they're gonna reunite in this episode or a different episode? And if you do, let me know how do you think they're gonna reunite. But again, that is a trailer we got for Fear the Walking Dead season 6 episode 3. Fear the Walking Dead is off to a great start, so I'm very excited for the future. But again, I'm gonna leave it up there. Hopefully you guys did enjoy. If you did, be sure to leave a like rating. Again, let me know your thoughts and opinions in the comments down below. And for more Walking Dead videos, just be sure to subscribe. And as always, thanks for watching, everybody. Please stay safe, and I'll see you guys soon.